I have never filmed on my bed before, and this does feel a tad weird. I also think it gives a bit of a sleepover vibe. I have once again amassed a selection of books. I'm actually being really good at the minute with only buying the ones that I need, which is pretty cool. I got most of these for Christmas. Some I bought myself, some I was gifted at other occasions. I'll show you all of them. It's very exciting. The first book that I got is A Lonely Castle in the Mirror by Mizuki Sugimura. So this book I got a few months ago. I bought this one myself. I walked into the bookshop, I found it, and I had a little browse around, but immediately I was just like, yes, I want this book, and I had committed to only getting myself one book, and this was the one that I chose. It is Japanese fiction, which I've been getting into quite a bit recently. What happens in this book is 7 young people wake to find their mirrors shining, and they find that when they place their palms on the surface of the mirror, they're transported to this whole other world that is run by this woman called the Wolf Queen. This world that they've been transported to does come with terms. For example, they have to leave by 5 o'clock or they face a terrifying penalty, whatever that means. All these young people have something in common, no explanation as to what that is, so the whole thing is kind of just very intriguing. This sounds like fantasy, but it was in the fiction section, which I think is going to make it really, really interesting and make it, rather than an adventure story, more like a deeper identity story perhaps, which I really love personally. So yeah, that was very exciting. That being said, I have not started it yet. It has been months and I have not started it yet, but it's okay, it's okay. So the next book that I got is Out by Natsuo Kirano. I think the cover was probably what called me to it. Again, it is Japanese fiction. It follows the story of these 4 mothers that work a graveyard shift at a factory. One of the mothers then proceeds to kill her husband, which, like, girl boss. The other mothers agree to help her, and then parts of the dismembered body start showing up. The police are asking questions. This bit just at the bottom says, Out is a psychologically taught and unflinching examination of the darkest recesses of the human soul and what makes the most ordinary person do the unimaginable. That really sounds like something I would enjoy. Again, I bought this for myself months ago, still not gotten around to reading it. Next book is Bunny by Mona Awad. When I tell you I looked for this book for months and I could not find it in any bookshop I went into, I ended up going down to London for a day and I spent a lot of my time in bookshops. When I was down there, I was searching and searching and searching for this book and I could not find it somehow. The person that I was with literally just handed it to me because there was a table full of them that I just completely walked past. Look at how pink this is. How do I not see a table full of these books? Dark academia really is my thing. This story centers around a young woman by the name of Samantha Mackey who is attending a highly selective writing program at Warren University. The other people in her class just absolutely hate her. She hates them. She doesn't get along with them. This follows her as she kind of gets deeper into this weird like cult thing that they've got going on. I have read this one and I don't want to spoil it. This is one of the weirdest books I've ever read. I'm not sure how much I genuinely enjoyed it from an entertainment point of view. From the point of view of someone who wants to study English and really respects and appreciates literature, it was brilliant. I wouldn't recommend this to people ever. It was so weird. It was a lot darker than I expected, a lot more violent than I expected. The next book does have a kind of change of pace, but it is Haikyuu Volume 1 by Haruchi Furudate. I am not into like anime or manga. However, the one anime that I absolutely adore with all of my heart, it is probably one of my favorite TV shows, is Haikyuu, which is why my brother got this for me for my birthday. I was very, very excited when I opened it because there's just too many volumes for me to justify buying them for myself. I don't think I'll collect all of them, but I like having this one because I enjoyed the TV show so much. This follows Hinata and Kageyama as they work their way to the top of their high school volleyball team. The story does start out where Hinata and Kageyama are enemies and then they end up being put on the same team in high school. The whole conflicting relationship that they have going on throughout the entire anime is amazing. I can only assume that the manga is equally as good. The next couple of books are all books that I got for Christmas. First one is Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. This is the book that I am currently reading. I am very, very much enjoying it. This book is about a young woman who is working as a paid companion while she is on holiday in Monte Carlo. She meets Maxim de Winter. They fall in love, he proposes, they get married, and they go back to his estate called Manderley. This estate is like super, super isolated, and while staying here, our narrator realizes that she just doesn't know her husband at all. This place is haunted by Maxim de Winter's first wife, Rebecca, who died by drowning. The back does say, Rebecca is the haunting story of a woman consumed by love and the struggle to find her identity. Love? Identity? It is the big themes in my life right now, so I love reading about other people going through them. Next book is Things Fall Apart by Chinua Achebe. This book was recommended to me. The writer was born in Nigeria and this does take place in West Africa. I haven't read any books set in West Africa or by African writers. I thought, you know, I may as well expand my horizons a bit. I know absolutely nothing about it apart from that it's by an African writer. I'm just going to read the little blurb on the back. Okonkwo is the greatest wrestler and warrior alive, and his fame spreads through West Africa like a bushfire in the Harmattan. But when he accidentally kills a clansman, things begin to fall apart. Okonkwo returns from exile to find missionaries and colonial governors have arrived in the village. With his world thrown radically off balance, he can only hurtle towards tragedy. Next book is My Brilliant Friend by Elena Ferrante. When I asked for this book, I didn't realise that it took place in Naples. I am going to Naples in February, so I think it's going to be so cute to like read this book whilst I'm there. This tells the story of Eleanor and Lila. They are born in a poor neighbourhood in Naples. The synopsis and what I know of it is kind of really vague. I know it follows the story of these two young girls seeking to carve out a destiny for themselves. I think this is going to be really, really interesting. I really, really love books written about women for women. It is really important to me to keep reading books written by women for women. It inspires a lot of confidence in myself. I'm really excited to read this one. Next book is Kitchen by Banana Yoshimoto. I would absolutely be lying if I said that the fact that this woman's name is Banana did not immediately draw me to this. I will just read this first line because again, I don't know that much about this book apart from the fact that apparently it's a really good tale of grief. Kitchen is two tales about mothers, transsexuality, bereavement, kitchens, love and tragedy. That is all it has explained to me. This book I had found on a list of 100 greatest Japanese novels you need to read. That's why I wanted to pick it up. This book is super, super popular. I've heard about it so much. Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I didn't know that this was an autobiography until very, very recently. Not that that makes me any less excited to read it. I've heard so much about this book. Basically, all that I know about this book is literally everything that is in the title. Everything I Know About Love. That's what it's about. I've had people say that it's a pretty important book for young women to read. A very short description of this book, but I feel like it's going to be the one that I start next because I've been looking forward to reading it for so long. Next book is again a change of pace from the fiction. That is Time is a Mother by Ocean Vuong. I initially read Ocean Vuong like a year and a half ago because it had been recommended to me and it was absolutely amazing. That then led me to explore some of Ocean Vuong's poetry. I have his first collection of poetry, which is wonderful. I know this collection of poetry centers around grief. Vuong is a Vietnamese American poet. I feel like it really broadens my horizons in terms of the different literature that I'm consuming, which I think is really, really important. Unearthly Briefly Gorgeous, which is his work of fiction, contends a lot with generational trauma, especially surrounding the Vietnam War. This, I assume, will also touch on some of those subjects. It's eye-opening and it's important to be aware of. Last book on my list actually has quite a funny story attached. It is The Heartstopper Yearbook by Alice Oseman. I do adore Heartstopper. I have been reading the webtoon for many, many years. The TV show I absolutely love. I was really, really glad to get this. It's so colourful and nice. I had bought this book for my brother for Christmas and then I was in town and I bumped into him on accident and he stopped me and he was like, I don't want to ruin the surprise but I just need to know if you have this or not already. And he pulled this out of his bag. We got each other the exact same thing for Christmas. I am really looking forward to working my way through all of these. Thank you for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe.